What's up, guys? Welcome to a new episode of Freshly Baked Props. As always, I am your Stone Master General, Tony. Today's going to be a special edition. We're just going to take a look at the last year. A bit of a retrospective. It's a bit of a retrospective. First off, let me just say thank you guys so much for the growth of this channel and hanging out with me, whether I'm doing these live or I'm just posting these after the fact. I appreciate all the feedback. I appreciated all the constructive criticism. I appreciated all the positive words of encouragement. You guys don't know what it means to me. This last year has really shown me some things that if I apply myself and really believe in myself, you're capable of great things. I know that's cliche to say. I know a lot of people have heard that shit before, but I've learned in this past year that it actually rings true if you believe in it. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who stuck with me, who hung out with me, who's been here since the beginning, who jumped on the train when it took off. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Got plenty more to come. This is just the beginning. But with that being said, this last year has been pretty cool. I didn't think I was going to make as much shit as I did. Last year, I had big plans for bigger stuff. I had plans for a 112 scale Castle Grayskull. I had plans for a 112 scale tactical battle station, which that is still on the docket. But I never got around to them because either I got sidetracked with life, which life came pretty fast this last year, or I got caught up with other projects, which I didn't really consider projects until recently. Recently, I don't know if you guys have been watching, but if you have, on some of the member live chats and the live streams, I've been making whether it's a shelf diorama for Mikey from JMK Custom Works, or a cool throne for Action Figure Addict. That kind of made me look back at the last year and say, holy shit, man, I made a lot of stuff. Whether it was just a simple kit bash of an action figure, a full-on custom figure, a vehicle, a diorama, props, a throne, a mech, you've done a lot of shit, man. So you should take a look back at all this stuff and kind of just take a step back and realize that while it wasn't these giant dioramas that you wanted to make, which I still want to make, you still had a lot of growth. You still learned a lot of shit in this last year. So I just wanted to take a look back at this last year with you guys and just kind of see all the stuff that we kind of created together, because I wouldn't have done the stuff without you, man. I always credit one gentleman, Jay Gonzo, for really telling me to get back into the Freshly Baked Props, because that's really what the channel was based around. And he was right. So I just want to thank guys like him. I want to thank guys like Shane, the Same Time Toys, Woody, Jeff, Zakanen, Mikey, JMK Custom Works, Tony's Figs. All you guys either inspired me or just kind of encouraged me to keep going. Yo, look what I'm making. Look what I'm doing here. No, don't stop. Keep going, man. You're doing great things. So whether it was just words of encouragement, inspiration from your own work, I thank you guys, man. It was, like I said, it's a hell of a ride. And I learned a lot this last year, and I'm ready to apply all the stuff that I learned to go into next year and build even bigger and better things. And I hope you guys join me on that ride. So with that being said, my dog is telling me to wrap it up. He's waving the pen for me. Let me jump into the list. This isn't like a top 10 countdown. This is just, we're going through some of the stuff. I compiled it in terms of, or compartmentalized it in terms of vehicles, custom figures and kit bashes, and miscellaneous props and diorama stuff, because everything came crazy. I would build a diorama, and then I would start building props to go to that diorama, and vice versa and stuff like that. So that being said, let's take a look at all the crap that I've made there with this last year, and when we come back, we'll wrap this up nice and pretty. Vehicles. So for right out of the box, man, I'm just very proud of some of the stuff I did, and it started with this Batwing from Spin Master. This was a great alternative to the McFarlane one. This came out right around the same time as the Flash movie, and with a simple paint job, as long as you painted that top arc, which was clear, it really transformed this thing into a perfect 112 scale Batwing, whether it's just for photography or if you actually wanted to put a figure in it. You did have to kind of gut the thing to get figures to fit in there, but I was luckily able to get 2 figures in there comfortably, no problem. And I made all the mechanisms inside of it. The one computer right here up front was a 3D printed piece from an Etsy dealer. I don't remember the name. It escapes me right now, but I'll link it in the description below. But it really did transform this Batwing from just a simple plastic piece that you would stick like a 12-inch action figure into a nice little 1/12 scale playset, essentially, and a great photography piece or a stop motion or play motion piece. It really blew my mind what a little bit of attention can do to something in a little bit of time. Like I said, this was my first delve into vehicle customization. I never really done this before. So messing around with these planes and stuff like that was a learning experience, and I'm proud of it. I started with the Buzz Lightyear planes. I did that 2 years ago, and then I kind of graduated to this, and this was all inner workings by hand, made by me, with the exception of that one 3D printed piece. So I'm very proud of how this thing came out, man. This was a great piece. Also, a Spin Master piece. Very happy with this thing. This was because I couldn't get the Flash vehicle, the Batmobile from the Flash movie. I didn't think he was going to make an 89 version. He obviously did. I got that one. But at that time, I was kind of gave up hope on that, and I just kind of made my own. The kicker is you can't really fit a figure in this thing, but if it's mounted onto like pieces of wood like I do, you can put a figure that looks like he's driving if you're going to shoot it like I did. And I'll even show that right now, right here in a little piece. The one-hitter, the Batmobile one-hitter that I did. But this thing came out really good, too. I was very proud of this cockpit as well, because I made this all from scratch. The only thing that I wanted to do, and this seat came with a 3D printed cockpit piece. That's what I was doing there right now. I was pointing both of them out. But the only thing I didn't do to this, I didn't light it up. But I was very, very proud of this Batmobile and Batwing, man. They came out really fucking awesome, really stellar stuff. Very proud of it. Next up is some aquatic vehicles for G.I. Joes or Action Force, Valaverse, whatever you want to call them. One was a jet ski, one was a canoe. I think they both came out good. They were just really repaints. They really weren't crazy customs. The only customizations I did to them was I mounted guns on them. On the jet ski, I mounted 2 Buzz Lightyear cannons on the front with just a simple dowel stick. And then on the canoe, I mounted a sniper rifle or high-powered rifle on the front using a literal, I think, pen, inner workings of a pen, a little tube that was in a pen. I used that to mount into the canoe into a mini ball bearing, and that was able to get the gun to move around in 360 degrees, as you could see right here. It was one of my favorites, man. Just simple shit. Came out beautiful. Came out stellar. Simple boat and a jet ski. The main event for me, obviously, in terms of vehicle customizations and making, was this Ninja Turtle van. Obviously, I got to tip my cap to Duarte Studios, who really kind of shattered the mold on this particular van. But I saw a lot of his stuff earlier this year. He inspired me. I asked him questions. He answered them graciously. He didn't hoard any information. He was a great source of information. And I came up with this, and I'm very proud of this, man. I think this came out really well. The rust, again, the Duarte Studios trick. He showed you how to do it with some colored paints and stuff like that. Did it come out exactly as his? No. Do I have some work to do? Yeah. But all things considered, I added this little thing because it just gave me the nostalgia feel from the original cartoon van. But this whole paint job, man, I was so proud of this thing. I was so proud of it. I added the mesh wiring in the back just so that I would cover the windows. I gutted this thing. I took it apart and really rebuilt it with inner workings so I could fit a motorcycle. And I had Donatello's workshop in there. He's got a table with computers and TV screens in there, as you can see right now. This was a great piece, man. One of my favorites. You can't really fit the Ninja Turtles in there, but you know, you finagle them. Now, what I'm thinking about doing is getting some Best Action Turtles, because I already have them. This is what I made it for, and ripping the shells off of them so I could sit them in there so that you'll see them in the van. I think that's the only way you can get them in. But outside the van, hanging outside the van, as you can see right here, this picture that I'm posting, looks really fucking awesome, man. Perfect piece to your collection if you just want to kind of have a Ninja Turtle van with your Ninja Turtles, which ones they are. Now, Duarte Studios retrofitted this van for Mezco figures. I retrofitted it for Best Action, or even the ones that came with it, the van. You can get those Mayhem Turtles and use this one too, so it doesn't matter. But all things considered, this was my first actual custom vehicle I would consider. Like, I ripped it apart, put it back together with a bunch of things, and like I said, the plane, the Batwing, the Batmobile, the jet ski, the canoe, the Fortnite boat. These were all precursors to this, my first full-on custom. And I gotta say, man, I'm pretty damn proud of it. Still sits on my shelf proudly, and every time I look at it, I admire it a bit, because when you make it yourself, there's a sense of pride there. So this was a great project, man. I'm very proud of it. Custom figures and kit bashes. In terms of there's a lot of action figures that we kit bashed and we customized. I'm going to start right out of the box with this Bill Burr figure, which was just a simple little drumming out of his neck, out of the Miggs Mayfield neck, and then popping it on to the, I always forget the guy's name, Talos, I think it was, from A Secret Invasion. And then you have yourself a full-on Bill Burr figure. Now, I know he might not dress this way exactly, but all things considered, like I said before, I mean, that's Bill Burr. I mean, it looks spot on, dude. I'm very proud of this. This was like a happy accident, man. I'm so proud of how this came out. Next, I did a full-on custom with the Frozen Empire Batman. And I took a Masterverse He-Man figure, ripped his legs off, ripped the peg joints with the ball joints for the legs, and then I kind of made an amalgamation of both. This is the McFarlane leg peg with the ball joints on the edge, with a wire holding it all together, an epoxy sculpt, and epoxy resin, I'm sorry. And I got the legs on. It articulates well, but I'm still wary. But I'm very proud of this figure. This figure came out fucking great, man. Other figures was Yo-Joe Jerk, my custom Yo-Joe Jerk with Kit Bash. I think I came out pretty funny. Of course, myself and Toy Gains. I did these three for the Mega Powers. It was great times. Of course, then I did this one. So another custom I did was Gambit. I ripped his arms off. I put my Night Thrasher's arms on there. Got this coat off eBay. And man, highly recommend this coat, by the way. $20 off eBay. It's a great jacket. Fits on like a glove. And this is now my prominent Gambit, man. Very proud of this one. Very proud. Let me just take a second to shout out my guys here, Tony's Figs, because this was Tony's Figs' Toy Gains. And if I had to pick a Toy Gains of the year, because a bunch of us made them, this would probably be my pick for custom Toy Gains of the year. Hands down. And let me shout out my man Mikey for making me this custom Destro. JMK Custom Works. You'll see his link right there in the description below as well on the screen right now. This guy, I mean, blew me away with this Destro. Even made the jewelry himself. One of my proudest figures that I have in my collection now. So let me just shout out Mikey. And again, let me shout out Tony's Figs and Toy Gains, because Toy Gains is a very good customizer as well. And all three of you guys inspired me to get into this realm of action figure stuff. Which brings me to my last custom that I'm going to talk about, which is this 2003 TMNT Shredder, made from scratch by me. This again, all these things were a precursor to this full-on custom, where I took a Ollie's Black Panther figure, and a 1990 movie Shredder, ripped him apart, took everything off of him, and then I just slowly started to build it onto this Black Panther. I even bored out the hand so I could fit the claw onto the hand, painted the eyes, made the tunic from scratch with the fabric, same with the belt, and now I have some katanas for him as well. And man, did he come together. I love this, absolutely love this Shredder. He is so fucking awesome, dude. Articulates exactly the same as the Black Panther figure. They didn't lose any articulation, even with the soft goods tunic, because the soft goods tunic is kind of spandexy. It's a little stretchy, so it has a lot of give to it, so he can move. And the pieces on the side were made from styrene plastic, because I couldn't really find a good belt like that with the leg protectors or leg shields. I couldn't really find one that would fit well onto this figure, so I had to make it myself. And I gotta say, considering I've never made something like that, not 3D printed, made by hand, this Shredder far surpassed my expectations of what I thought I could do. And I'm really proud of this custom figure, man. Great stuff. Dioramas. So we're going to get right into diorama. It's been a very busy year for me in terms of diorama making. And I started right out of the box with this Buried Alive set for the Purple Gloves Undertaker, which I also got this year. And if I had to tell you which wrestling figure would be my wrestling figure of the year, he'd be up here, this Purple Gloves Undertaker. Because I love this dead man. He's my favorite version of the Undertaker, apart from the Ministry of Darkness. But this was very easy build. A little bit of fake dirt. I used sand and Mod Podge to stick it into place. Some brown paint. black wash, brown washes, gray washes later, a little bit of green felt paper, and here we are with the Buried Alive set, and this is basically what I made it for. So I hope you got in a minute, and I hope you like the fucking Undertaker, because here we go. Brings me to my next big diorama, which was my 2-tier diorama that I made earlier this year for my play motion video, and it was a sewer into a factory diorama, into a basement factory. I needed it for a certain play motion a scene. I wound up giving it to Woody. This is a couple of still shots from that scene, and it had Rocondo, Bazooka, and Outback kind of sneak it into a facility, going in through the sewer system. That was the whole point of it. And let me tell you something, far surpassed my expectations, what a little bit of fog and a small little set can do. This was a cool learning experience, and I wound up giving most of this to Woody. I think I gave the whole thing to Woody. Shout outs to Woody Triple Deuce. But if I had to make it again, I would. And that was the precursor to this, which was my office / interior apartment house, whatever diorama. And man, did I love the way this came out. The popsicle stick floor, the foam board walls. I got so much stuff out of it. I got the holiday set out of it, as you can see right here. This thing far surpassed my expectations. Very proud of this one. I mean, look at this. I got so much stuff out of this, man. The Christmas stuff. This diorama, I made it, I think, in the summer, and so far I've already shot with this thing 6 to 7 times, maybe even more. I have gotten so many great shots from this thing. I am so happy with how this thing worked out. Couldn't have asked for a better setup. I cut the hole out in the wall for the fireplace just a couple weeks ago, and it then set it off even higher up, in my opinion, of dioramas that I've made. And I've made quite a few, not just this year, but very proud of this diorama. I'm going to be using this a lot more in the months to come. So, but that's not the only ones I made. I made this one, this was another one that I'm very proud of, which was the Castle Grayskull / Dr. Mindbender lab. As you can see here, I'm doing a slow pan of the lab. This was another scene needed for my play motion stuff. And man, again, I hate to say this, I say this a lot, but far surpassed my expectations, man. I expect one thing, and when I get something completely different, really makes me proud. All of these things, these little set design pieces, all were made either by me, whether I got Harry Potter, make it yourself potions, went to Hobby Lobby, repainted things, repurposed things. These Mr. Beast tanks, I cut them apart, put lights in them so I could put figures in them and make it look cool. I made tables. Shout outs to Loki Wartooth, who printed me these screens with the computer tables. A big shout out to him. Hopefully all is well with him. I made these stairs. He also printed me this little archway thing that I added into this diorama. This is the front of, this is one of the walls of the same diorama that you just saw. I added some banners as the He-Man logo because it was a Castle Grayskull style diorama, so I figured I'd go with some He-Man banners. But I added that eagle thing. That was a 3D printed piece from Lone Wolf Labs. But man, I'm really proud of these. Are some of the images that I got from you, some of the still frames from the scene that I shot, the play motion scene, and I'm just so proud of it. So proud of it, man. It came out so good. I made the door myself from basswood, and some styrene plastic. But great stuff, man. This is miscellaneous stuff. So let's take a look. I made the mic stand and the stool for Bill Burr. So this mic stand and the stool that you see in his videos and stuff, I made those from scratch out of using paint caps, paint bottle caps, and some dowel sticks. Very proud of that. The microphone in his hand I made from epoxy sculpt. I made this punching bag from a piece of pleather and some teddy bear stuffing. As you can see, got a great shot here with Big Boa in a dingy gym, working out, getting ready for his next fight. The one thing I can say is I'm very proud. He's the mech that I made for Aaron the Toy Enhancer's mech contest, which, again, another one that I'm proud of. Didn't expect to surpass what I was thinking was going to look like, and actually wound up hitting everything that I was hoping for. The cannons, the firepower, the flamethrower, the working saw, the detachable metal hook to bring down planes, anti-aircraft weapons. This was the throne that I made just recently for Action Figure Addict that started this whole episode. Again, cardboard, hot glue, and some skulls in the clearance section at Michael's. That's what made this. And again, I wasn't thinking that this is what it was going to be, but he gave me some references, as you can see in this video right here, that I was working on while I was doing a live members only that he was watching. So I was kind of getting his input while I was doing it. And we were going over it, as you can see right here, another video. But he loved it. I loved it. And again, it was just another thing this year that I was able to make, and I'm very proud of it, man. Very, very proud of it. I made some caskets too. I forgot all these things that I made. God damn it! I made some caskets for the Undertaker. Even though I got a lot of caskets now. I got the casket of cruelty. Got a couple ringside collectible caskets. My wife's got the NECA casket. But we still have these two wooden ones. I made one, the Yokozuna one, and I made the Kamala one. These were the double wide, double deep caskets that he made for the, portly opponents that he had back in the 90s. But man, I love doing this stuff. These were easy, but annoying, as crazy as it sounds. But in the end, I love the way they came out. I painted some cars, whether it was a Barbie car, a rainbow car, or a remote control car. I painted up. I made a book, a small spell book for wizards and what have you. I made this diorama set diorama shelf set for JMK Custom Works, Mikey. Shout out, man. I appreciate you. I'm so happy you enjoyed this thing. This is it sitting on his shelf here, as you can see. Once he got it, he set it up immediately. And I couldn't be more proud to see it sitting on someone else's shelf. Nothing's cooler when you make something for somebody and they love it just as much as you do, and they display it proudly, and you can kind of see it and you see how happy they are with it. Nothing makes you more happier than that. So there you have it, guys. That's all the stuff I made this past year. A little 2024 retrospective. Let's get back to my talking head so I can wrap this up. So there you have it. It was a lot of stuff, man. I made a lot of shit this year, and I'm proud of it all. I gotta be honest with you. Next year is bigger and better. That's the goal. Starting with the tactical battle station. I have the base for it. It is gigantic. It's this big piece of styrofoam that was protecting the front of an 85-inch TV. It's perfect, man. Perfect size. I am gonna make it a little bit bigger on the corners where you put all the cool shit. I am gonna be looking to get some stuff 3D printed, so it's probably going to be a long project. Might even take the whole year. I don't know. There is no deadline on it. I'm going to be working on it when I can. There'll probably be a couple of freshly baked lives on it, as well as just some of these kind of side episodes of it. If I get a lot done in a period of time where I didn't go live or anything like that, I'll compartmentalize, make a condensed episode of freshly baked props just to kind of show you where I'm at. But I do plan to have that built. The Castle Grayskull, that was my big project for last year. That's going to be a whole thing. I learned what to do for it, and it was just not in the cards. So we are going to go back to the drawing board and try something else. That's why I was making bigger dioramas this year, was because I just wanted to see if it was feasible, if it was possible. It is and it isn't. You can make these things, but space is a problem. Even how, it doesn't matter how flat you make them. Like I'm using EVA foam and either MDF board or cardboard, but it still takes up a lot of space, man. So while it's fun to do, just always keep that in mind. Where you're gonna put it, how you're gonna store it, how you're gonna ship it if you want to sell it later on. Because a lot of these dioramas that I made this year that you just saw, can't really ship them to anybody because they're really fucking big. So my goal is to either just kind of keep them, and whenever I'm done with them, I'm just done with them, or if I ever decide to sell them, I will get a table at a convention and sell it that way. I figured maybe somebody will like a big diorama they can have. Maybe they have some cool display at their house, and this giant diorama is the missing piece. We'll see. Only time will tell. But for now, they're mine. I have no intentions of getting rid of any of this stuff. I'm very proud of this stuff. From the dioramas all the way down to the custom figures. I mean, that Bill Burr figure came out amazing. The Batman figure far surpassed my expectations of it. I know you got to be careful with it, so I'm not trying to like really mess with him all that much. I know the legs and pegs that I made. Who knows how long it's gonna? I know there's a shelf life on it. And again, only time will tell. But we'll see what happens with it. But I loved how that figure came out. It looks great. I can't wait to display it properly. As well as the custom figure of my dad, the little kit bash for my dad, myself, Jerk, and Gaines. Shout outs to Tony's Figs and JMK Custom Works for the Destro and the Toy Gaines pics that they sent me when they sent me them. That was a while ago, but I mean, Mikey made that Destro for me, so I can't tell you how appreciative I am of that. But like I said at the beginning, I'll say it again, man. Thank you guys, because you guys inspired me. Tony's Figs, JMK, Mikey, Toy Gaines, Angelo. He makes a lot of cool stuff too. He's a very good customizer, and Jerk. That Christopher Walken was Jerk. He was the first one to do it, if I'm not mistaken. And that simple kit bash really set in a chain of events for people who everybody went and bought that Christopher Walken figure. So it was one of the coolest little happy accidents. So this year has been just chock full of that kind of stuff, and I'm very proud to say that I've been a part of this whole ride. I'm proud to say that I was a driver on this ride, with all these episodes of Fresh to Big Props and everything like that. And like I said, it's just the beginning. I got plenty more up the pike. I got a bunch of custom action figures that I'm already fermenting in my head right now, that I'm trying to figure out the recipes for in my own way. I'll give you a little hint. One is the Savage Dragon. I love the Savage Dragon. I'm thinking about using the Avengers Hulk, the MCU Build-A-Figure Hulk. I have so many Hulks that I really don't need that MCU. I don't collect MCU figures, so I think that would be the perfect base body. And then I would get soft goods clothing, probably cop stuff, like this police uniform. I know you wore police uniform a lot, and you wore the wife beater and the jeans. You would have to get sneakers big enough or shoes to kind of pop on a Hulk's feet. But I think I'm gonna give it a shot. I think I like that idea. I want Savage Dragon. I'm still gonna be working on that 2003 the Batman cartoon Batman, as well as some other heroes and villains and shit. They're all fermented up here that I'm gonna give a shot to now that I'm kind of getting comfortable doing it. At first I was very uncomfortable cracking bodies open. But again, shout out to Yojo Jerk for giving me that Gambit, man. That became my Gambit now. That's the Gambit. I don't really need the Mafex one. That's all I needed. So it's good to know that it did work, and I took a chance on it, knowing that I could potentially break Gambit, and I'm glad that it paid off. It was high risk, high reward, and I got the reward out of it. So I'm very happy for it. But again, thank you, Jerk. Thank you, Gaines. Thank you, Mikey. Thank you, Tony's Figs. Again, Woody, Just Jeff. All I get the words of encouragement, or it was just the inspiration, man. Duarte Studios is another one. because if it wasn't for him inspiring me with the Ninja Turtle van and being very open and honest to let me ask her whatever question I wanted and then posting videos about it, I wouldn't have really had the confidence to attempt that kind of custom for that vehicle. I added my own spin and flair to it, so his van is much different from mine. Obviously, it's much better in my opinion, but I think mine will suffice. His van is far superior, but I think mine, for what it was, $40 purchase. I had all the stuff already here. It wasn't like I bought anything extra. It was all just kind of handmade, customizing it myself and putting it together and seeing the image in my head. I think it came out pretty good. Same thing with the Batmobile and the Batwing. Those were happy accidents. I didn't think they were a year ago. I thought they were longer. But I forgot that Flash movie came out in the winter, so all those toys came out later. And I had finished those in late December, going into the new year. So those were happy accidents. That Spin Master's Batwing was amazing. I can't believe that I was able to get what I got out of that. So that was a happy accident as well, especially with the foam. When I figured out the wing and the bottom part of the foam, that's when I was like, oh shit, now it looks cool. But now all that shit under the wing is kind of hidden. But again, like I said, it was happy accidents, man. It's filled with learning. It's the greatest learning experience I've had this year in terms of being creative and making all this stuff. So that being said, man, this is all the time I have, guys. I'm sorry I took up all the time. I appreciate all you guys, man. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for watching this stuff. Thank you for always commenting. Thank you for the positive words. Thank you for always hanging out on the live streams. I really appreciate you guys, man. For real, this means more than you know. I know I say that a lot, but I can't reiterate that more. So thank you so much, guys. Please please subscribe if you haven't. Please leave a comment if you haven't. Check out all the other stuff. If you're thinking about joining the membership, please join. There's plenty of shit on there, plenty of content, hours. So this has been a fucking great ride, man. So from the bottom of my heart, I know there's gonna be a couple more videos coming from me. I don't know if they're coming up before the new year or after the new year, but if they don't, happy new year. Have a safe new year. And I will catch you guys in 2025. Until then, stay baked.